So after learning a lot of things, let me move forward for our next lecture. So our next lecture will be delivered by Dr. Sainathan. He will be talking. His title is Design Tools for Patient-Centric Insights. So let me introduce with his short bio. He has postgraduate in IT. He also graduated in diploma in IT. Currently, he is the senior manager at Intellect Design Arena Limited. He is also a faculty at School of Design Thinking. Earlier, he was working as a project manager at Intellect. Then he was also the master trainer at Nalanda Corporate University. He also related lots of projects at Polaris, and he was a software trainee at ISRO, Sriharikota. And if I tell more about him, he's also passionate in conducting an awareness program on health using laughter as a modality where 8 to 80 years old have been participated across different parts of the India. He believes that a nation could become strong by the strong and happy citizens of the nation, and more that magic to happen, he creatively uses the above program by emphasizing on the philosophy of laughter is the best medicine. Mr. Swaminathan equips himself with reading, attending widely variety of training programs on mind power, hypnosis, NLP, then also experimental training, psychodrama, and other psychology related areas. His teaching styles emerges from mixing the right ingredients taken from the above knowledge cluster, and he also avid in computer programming where a piece of software that he has written earlier in his career in ISRO has become a part of PSLV C2 rocket series of ISRO in Sriharikota. Because of his interest in programming, he also teach computer programming in a curative and fun way, which is a kind of which is first kind of it. So, with a very short introduction, let me that is a request, Dr. Mr. Swaminathan to deliver his lecture. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Abhijit. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Oh,
your camera is actually off. You can put your camera if it is possible.
No, it is an on mode. I'm seeing my video here.
Yeah, Abhijit, we can see the video.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay.
Great, sir. Please proceed.
Yeah. So first of all, small course correction. I'm not a doctor.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, friends, welcome to the adult session, and let me start my sharing my slide. And is my slide visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir, and you are properly audible.
Oh, wonderful. So, okay. Okay. I'm straight away jumping into the session, and
sir, you can minimize the dialog box in the below right.
Pardon?
You can minimize.
Yeah. So here's my first question. How many birds are flying in the previous slide? The participants can type it in the chat box if you have observed it. Or you can unmute yourself and you can start interacting with me. Any guess?
No, sir.
By the way, Professor, I will not be able to see the chat mode, so you have to help me out, right? As
yes,
gets popped.
Yeah, sir. Somebody is telling Mr. Nirmal Raj is saying 20. Anjali Mishra is saying 11.
Okay.
12, sir.
5.
12.
Okay. 12. Okay, you are closer to it. Okay, now my question is there any insight you got in this activity? Now you'll have a lot of doubts in your mind, right? What sort of an insight over here? See, the point is this: we will always focus on what is told, or we don't focus on what is not being told. Hope you're all getting this message. One more time, I'm going to show the image, but only for 10 seconds. You have to really observe. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, how many times the word design is displayed? Oh, I changed the question.
13, sir.
15, sir.
15. The word called design.
14, sir.
14. Okay.
13, sir. 13.
13. Okay. That's a quite interesting. You were able to spot those many words, sir. Wow. That's quite awesome. Is there anyone who's typing on the chat box? Professor, can help me out? Okay.
Yeah, sir. Dr. Amit is mentioning 13.
13. Okay. No. The 13 is for the question, for the first question that I've asked. Now here comes the next question. How many times the word design is displayed for this question?
Dr. Venkata is saying 2.
2. Okay. Any other answer?
Dr. Anjali Mishra is also saying twice.
Twice.
Amit
Okay.
Dr. Amit is
One
also
more
saying
time.
2.
Wonderful. One more time, I'm going to show the screen. By watching the screen, you can still tell me the answer. Here we go. How many times the word design is displayed over here on the screen?
5, sir.
5. Oh,
Three
got to
times.
5.
Three
3.
times.
Okay. Ma'am, at the same time, listen to what our fellow
It's
participants
5.
are saying. Somebody is saying 5, somebody is saying 3.
Yes, sir. 5. It is 5.
5.
Okay,
6.
5, sir.
6.
I heard somebody
6, sir.
saying 6. I heard somebody saying 6.
6.
Okay.
6.
Yes, sir. 6 it is.
Oh, 6. Oh, wonderful. Professor, can you tell? I can hear some chat sound.
Yes, sir. Yes.
9 times, sir, I think 9 times are there.
Oh my God, somebody has spotted 9 times.
9.
Remember, it is only this, right? The word called design, not about the structure and all. Is it 9?
4 times in the cloud, I mean, in between the birds.
Okay, somebody.
Yes.
I don't
Yes,
want
it
to
is 9
explain that
times.
logic.
In the cloud 4 times.
Friends, don't explain that logic. People have to explore it by themselves, right?
Right,
The moment
right.
you give the clue, then they will begin to find it out.
Right. Okay, sir.
Okay. Anyhow, you opened that
It
clue.
was very
That's
interesting.
fine. Okay. Now, some of if you ask me what's the right answer, right?
11, sir. 11.
Come on, 11. Okay. If you ask me the right answer, the answer is 4. 4 is the answer. But some of you seen a lot more than that, right? But to know the right answer, you have to go back to the question one more time. Observe that question, what it says. How many times the word design is displayed? The word design is in uppercase. If you have listened and observed, you get a lot of information. Yes or no?
Right.
Now, some of you might
Yes.
even think the word design is in blue color. How many such
Yes.
words are there in the previous slide in blue color? This is how your mind will start to operate. Friends, this is how you start expanding and connecting your thought process. And that's the place where insights are born. Of course, it's all happening because of what? Because of your keen observation. If you have not observed it, obviously you would have missed it. The point over here is when you start observing keenly, you end up picking up a lot of information. And when you start connecting and expanding those information, you will see a different picture about the same scenario. And in the real world, there are different things exhibited by our fellow human beings at any given situation. But only when we observe and listen to them, we will be able to understand why they behave in a particular way. Let's see a video which will give you the essence of what I'm going to talk further. Professor, you need to tell me whether the video is visible and the audio is coming up.
Okay, sir. We're getting the
Audio?
no, sir. Audio is not. No, sir. It is not audible. Sir, you have to share the screen with. There will be option of include computer sound. When
Yeah, that I did it.
The
That I
video
already
is-
did.
Video was on.
Okay, I
There,
already did that.
there will be checkbox. Yeah, include computer sound. You have to put it on. Then you have to share the screen. After that, the video will be audio will be also there.
Okay, fine. I did that, and I am sharing my screen one more time.
Yes, sir. Now the audio is coming.
Audio?
So you can, yeah, yes, sir. You can minimize the dialog box in that below.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, every time I watch this video, I feel a bit emotional. Is there anyone who felt in that way? Just curious about it. Yes or no?
Yes, of course, sir.
Okay, I want to hear that. Okay, if you watch the video without any bias, right, without making any judgment, you would have become emotional. But if you watch the video with a mindset of it's just a video with actors, then probably you wouldn't have felt that emotional aspect which I was referring to. That's okay. Well, if a doctor understands his patient good enough, that is what's bothering his patient, then the way he connect with his patient will be different. And that's the place where you will be able to add that last 2% magic, which creates that 200% impact in the patient's mind. Well, in a hospital environment, each patient has their own story to tell. They have their own set of emotions running in their mind with respect to the challenges that they are facing currently. Now the question is how to capture those aspects. That's where this powerful design tool called empathy map could be deployed, right? What is being cluttered in one person's mind that could be unraveled by asking, basically it is asking questions with respect to the patient's mind, what's running in his mind as well. So before that, what is empathy map? It is a map to find out your patients or the users' behaviors and attitudes. But how will you find it out? You have to interview them, you have to interact with them. That is a place where you will be cull out all those information. Basically, you're going to see the output from your patient's perspective. This particular statement, if you which has been displayed in the beginning of this video, right? Could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes for an instant? A miracle can take place if you are able to understand your patient's perspective or your user's perspective. Now, this is how this empathy map looks. This is only an indicative thing. There are different variants to it, but the core essence is, these 4 elements of what your patient thinks about it, what your patient feels about it, what your patient says about it, what your patient is doing about it at any given situation when he or she steps into a clinic or to an hospital. Might be, right? When a patient steps in, he might be having his own fears. He will exaggerate that fear, but only when you interact with them, you will be able to know what sort of exaggeration he has done it, right? As a result, it will create a lot of anxieties in him. It will create frustrations in him. Those are the things you need to, pull out from him. In a way, you dialogue and get those details. What are their needs and hopes? What they expect from the doctor or from the environment that they are in, right? That is a place where they start building the trust. Now, they begin. You have to look from the patient's perspective in the sense, what do they see and feel about the hospital? You have to ask such a question. That is a place where, they will rattle a few things that will be an indicator for us to do the course correction. What do they feel in the immediate environment? That is more important. As of now, I'm in the reception area by seeing a lot of people walking in here and there, and someone coming in a stretcher. That will build a pressure in me as well. So what sort of an emotion gets triggered? If are they comfortable feeling ease in the hospital or feeling ease in the clinic? What do they say? What do they do today? Or what behavior we are observing? All such details, when we are able to capture it, as a result, what happens is, you start developing insights. It could be both positive as well as a negative insight. These insights will help one to deal with the patient in a much more human-centric way, and that will create a lasting impact in the patient's mind. So this is one sample example that I picked it up. These are the questions might be occurring in the patient itself, right? It is not that the third person or the secondary person asking a question to him. The question will be asked by the patient himself. Hey, why it is taking so long? Why can't they organize it in a better way? When such question pops up in their mind, and if there is a buddy in the system who's addressing these questions, right? Instantly you will create that magical rapport. So first of all, you need to understand what sort of equation a patient will get in his mind. Might be as a feeling part, right? He might be tense, he might be impatient, he might be frustrated. And once you get to know these elements, these key elements, you are in a better way, or you are better equipped to address that particular situation. What the patient will be saying to him, right? When he sees a overcrowded place, or if the place is overcrowded, obviously he's going to get a little bit jittered. If the place is not crowded, obviously he's going to be happy. Yes. So you need to give a little bit of information to the patient. If you come on this particular time, there won't be much of a crowd. That piece of information makes him delighted. All right. Okay. So what the customer does when the patient comes in and sits in the reception area, what are the things that he's doing? Is he sits there peacefully, or is he busy with something else? Based on these things, you will arrive certain insight. Right? Might be here in this case, right? Overall, we get a negative insight about this particular patient. Once you have this empathy map, right, you can classify your observation, whether it's a cognitive, the process of understanding, whether it's a physical, emotional, social, or cultural. When you're able to classify your observation in this pattern, right, it becomes easy to address the challenges faced by the patients. We can always take reference from the past patients who were successfully overcome such situations. Hope you are getting this idea. From here, we move on to another interesting area, or rather another interesting tool. Now again, a question comes to all of you. What do you observe in this picture? I want you to type in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can start interacting with me. What is it you observe in this picture?
Sir, it's a high-tech city with all the modern technologies,
Okay.
water conservation greenery.
Oh,
And,
okay. You already encapsulated. It's a high-tech city. Wonderful, good. But I want you to go in a little bit details. What are the other things that you're seeing it? What it conveys to you? Of course, you said it's a high-tech city. Apart from that,
Hello, sir. Different buildings, sir. Different types of buildings, designs, architecture.
Wonderful. Different types of buildings, different types of architectures. Very good. What else?
Yes.
So there is nothing called right or wrong over here. Whatever you are observing, you are going to share it over here. But that's a place where your observation comes in. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
There is swing in the backdrop. I think one swing is there, if I am not wrong, and a considerable portion has been dedicated for green part also, for ecosystem, or for sustainable development part of you.
Good, good. Yeah, you observed that. Yeah, it is very much visible. Yes.
Sir, there is water conservation also.
Yes, very well. It is there. Go ahead. Go ahead. So now we say it is told, everything has been told. Okay. So water bodies are there, landscapes are there, different design of buildings. What more you see?
Playgrounds, sir. Playgrounds.
Playgrounds. Okay.
It looks like a playgrounds. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sports activities.
Pardon, what is that? Faculties.
Sports, the importance of sports.
Okay, okay. Sports facilities. Okay.
Sir,
I also see the highways.
On the other side, I think
There is not enough traffic in the highways, I think.
Oh, wonderful. There is no traffic in the highways. Very good observation. Okay.
Sir, three buildings, I mean, one gate or building is there on that. There is some train or metro-like structure. I don't know. Am I right or not?
Correct. Even I don't know. Even I don't know that. Okay. Some alien type of design has been placed over there. Good. Professor, is there any chat box message popped up? Because I can't see the chat box messages.
No, sir. All are allowed to
fine.
unmute themselves, and they are indirectly connecting with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is wonderful. See, the space looks connected, right? Overall, yeah.
Someone
ahead.
pointed out traffic is not there, so I think so there is no traffic signal as well, I think.
Okay, that's a quite interesting observation. There is no traffic signal. Okay, you have to zoom in. Okay,
It might be visible if you zoom in. I'm
no,
not
no,
sure.
we don't have such facility here. Okay, so it looks like it's a properly planned city. That's what the professor told, right? It looks like a high-tech city. Yes, it is. But upfront, can you put it in a one word? What this could represent? The whole thing you're saying, what it represents? Of course, it's a high-tech city. Other than that, what message it gives you, or
A picturesque view.
pardon? Wonderful. That's what I'm
A
looking at it.
picturesque view.
Correct. A bird's eye view. You are getting it. Correct?
The
Yes.
panoramic
Yes.
view, right?
Yes, sir.
The panoramic view.
It's a panoramic view. Very good. So you're all right in your observation. So you get a big picture of this place, right? Why to know a big picture? You need to know a big picture because of these following reasons, right? You get a deeper and broader understanding in the first place. You will obviously will start connecting things, and you will make your own interpretation. That's what someone also told. There is no traffic signal over there. All such thing will happen, right? But only when you have this broader understanding, you will be able to connect different pieces of information. But this is the place where you can also identify gaps, right? Loopholes. And the loopholes or the gaps are the best places where we can start innovating things. In fact, Ram was talking about blind spots. These are the things you can identify only when you have a bigger picture in mind. You should have the broader understanding. So this is okay at one level, but is there a tool available to us to help to understand the big picture? Any guess? Is there any tool available to us? Just I'm asking you. So there is no tool available. Of course, we can say we have this notebook, right? Notepad and pen, with which we will capture different pieces of information. Then we will make course correction, right? Then we will have a dialogue with our colleagues and friends and consultants, and then you structure it around. This all normally happens. But when you saw the picture, you saw different disjointed informations are there. But if there is a way to connect, if there is a way to put those different knowledge packets in an organized way, it becomes much more easier to consume, right? Then it becomes easier to connect, right? You can always extend it. All such things could be done. Now, for example, now I give a very simple example. That's a place where you can try applying your this big picture concept. Take the example of your home, your house, right? How can you see the big picture of your house? Now the question is, what is the big picture? Okay, can I take a snapshot of my house, the frontage? No. So the place where you live in, right? You got different rooms. So those things you can capture it. And if I ask you to narrate it, you will write it as a big full paragraph, right? I'm having this room, that room, these facilities, right? But now you're going to see a way how to capture this big picture, and this will blow your mind because of its simplicity. Why I'm giving this sort of a build-up is because you can start applying it, whenever you want to understand something in holistic in nature. Even for this FTP thing, right? You want to create the big picture of what this FTP is. You can very well do the way I'm going to show it. So here comes the big picture. How to capture the big picture? Hope you're all able to see the screen. The different sections
Yes,
of your
yes.
room is being plotted. Okay, yeah. Before me explaining it, so is there any message that you're getting when you look at this screen? That's the crux. Are you able to understand the big picture of your house? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
You are able to relate to it, right? You might be
Yeah.
having extra rooms, but Overall, this gives you the complete view of, oh, these are the few things. I can see it. Hey, but some things are in horizontal, some things are in vertical. Now, what are these horizontal things? Lights, fans, mosaic flooring, mats.
So they
Why
are
it is,
the components in that particular room. Or
which
the-
room? Which room?
If we talk about the first row, so they are the items or the particulars in that room. If we talk about
No. I'm talking about the horizontal one, the lights and fans, mosaic flooring, mats. But why it has to be placed in the bottom? I mean, why it is to be placed in as in a horizontal format? Why can't I place it in the vertical format?
they are used laterally in a lateral fashion. They cover the entire area or room.
Wonderful. Now that you started thinking about it, right? So you're in a design thinking program, you should think a lot. So why it is kept in horizontal format is these lights and fans are applicable in every other rooms, right? In the bedroom, kitchen, storeroom, it's going to be there. So what is common across, those things have been captured in a horizontal format. What is unique to that particular room, that has been captured in a vertical format. So hope you are getting this idea. Now, by looking at it, now we can take the example of your own home, and you can start connecting things. Now you look at it right now. I'm seeing a newspaper over here at my place. Now suddenly a thought comes to my mind. And newspapers are there, but where will I keep my newspapers? There is no place for my newspaper, right? Might be I can keep it in my balcony area, or I can keep it in the storeroom area. See, now that old newspapers, I can store it in the storeroom area, right? Now, when an extra room is there, I can also plot the guest room with bed. That I can plot it. So whenever a guest comes in, I can ask him to sit over there. I can put a dustbin in the bathroom, right? Now I can identify things and I can park it, make a way into my area. Might be doors and windows. If you look at it, that's there in every other place, right? So that comes at the horizontal way. So now when I create this is called, right, creating a big picture of a particular situation or a particular thing. This we call it as an L0 architecture, a level 0 architecture. So you get a complete view about a particular thing. Now you can connect it, extend it, right? Wherever you want to shift it, you can shift things. Now you have a holistic view of a particular place. Are you all able to get the idea what this capturing the big picture, what it means?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
no? Okay, very simple, right? Now, let's take the case of an IRCTC, right? Most of you would have booked a train ticket in IRCTC. IRCTC means it's only booking a train ticket. But do you all know they also do air booking? Flight booking could be done via IRCTC. There are holiday packages are there, right? There are different things IRCTC portal does. Hello, I heard someone is talking.
Yes, sir. I have disabled them.
Oh, okay, fine. So if you look at it, only when you create L0 of something, you will be able to see different pieces comes together, right? That's the place where you will begin to appreciate, you will get a comprehensive view about something. Otherwise, you will be always biased with one particular narrowed approach, or what to say, you will have a very, very narrow view about a particular thing. Okay. Now that take for example, in this case, different sections are there. I'm going to focus on the booking management, right? Under booking management, you see 4 different checklets. Train booking is there, air booking is there, holiday packages are there, stays are there, right? Now, in train booking, what all things could be done? In holiday packages, what all things could be done? That will be done as L1 architecture, which means, the next sheet, the next page will be expanded. This one particular vertical will be taken and be expanded like this. So I will be going deep into each of the chicklets. So for example, in holiday package, you can see the spiritual holiday packages IRCTC is giving, adventure holiday packages they are giving, honeymoon packages they are giving, weekend packages they are giving, that is Saturday and Sunday alone packages, right? So now I want to understand what are the spiritual packages that IRCTC gives it. So when I click on it, what happens? I go to the L2 architecture. Hope you are able to visualize it, right? This is how it gets expanded to. So in a spiritual packages, there will be a like a Haridwar package or a Tirupati package, right? Like that, it gets kept on being expanded to it. So what it gives you is this L0 architecture. What it gives you is a holistic picture of understanding from macro to micro. But here is the crux, but in a very, very organized way. Right? It becomes very easy to pick up a piece of information without even someone has to explain it to you. It becomes self-explanatory, and it is full in its detail. That is the beauty of L0. Hope you got this idea. Now, basically, this L0 architecture could be applied where? The answer is anywhere. Wherever you want to understand the big picture as well as the small picture, you can consciously apply it. Right now, we will focus on the the macro level of doing things. Before I proceed, any questions you have with respect to this L0?
No, sir. I think there are no questions from participants.
So it is basically you are shelving your whatever your understanding is. You are shelving in a particular knowledge packet or in a particular chiclet concept. Now, the terminology might be little bit, for the newcomers, it will be difficult to digest. What this L0, L1, L2, nothing but L0 talks about level 0 of your understanding, right? L0 means it's a level 0, which gives you the complete picture, the overall picture, the big picture about the particular subject that you are discussing about. What is that L1? One aspect of L0, you are expanding it, you are blowing it up so that you are trying to find out a much more finer details. That is like that spiritual package or a honeymoon package, those details. And what is about L2? You are furthermore defining it. In a honeymoon package, what are the places, what are the areas that IRCT is defining it? Kulu Manali, Kashmir, right? Such thing will get parked under L2. And L3, you get a furthermore finer details. In Kashmir, what are the places that I go and visit? How many days it will take for me, right? The moment you identify such things and present to the end user, right? The end user will be more happy, yes or no? Because you are giving a complete picture and you make me very, very comfortable. I don't have to search X amount of website to get the understanding. Just by browsing through this one particular L0 thing, L0 architecture framework, it makes my job, or it makes my to take a decision much more easier. Now, here comes an activity time, right? So I want you all to draw the L0 of the human body, because that's a place where you will put your knowledge in a very, very concrete way. Make an attempt. Draw the L0 of a human body, because it is there with you, and you can always refer it, and you can draw the structure. Again, there is nothing called right or wrong over there, and only when you put your pen on paper, right, you do something, and when I show the output, right, some sort of flash will happen to you. But if you have not made an attempt, you won't get that flash. I want each one of the participants to get the flash, so that you will consciously start using this L0 wherever you go. So make an attempt.
Sir, is it possible to keep skin in horizontal way, whatever you have mentioned?
Now you have to ask this question to yourself. The skin is all over through my body?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then the answer, you have answered that question.
Right.
What is common across? That becomes the horizontal. See, beautifully. It's the way you ask the question, you get the answer. Beautiful. You've got 4 more minutes to do it. So make that attempt.
Sir, I have actually classified into 3 categories: upper, middle, and lower.
Beautiful. Okay.
In upper part, head, eyes, nose, mouth, hair,
Okay.
ear.
Beautiful.
Middle part, chest, belly, shoulder, and
Super.
in lower part, legs, nails, sexual organ, fingers, and skin. Body hair is actually available in most of the whole of part of the body. So I have kept
Correct.
in horizontal way.
Wonderful. You got the essence of L0. By the way, I can't see you over here. So, by the way, what's your name, sir?
Sir, I'm Abhijit.
Abhijit. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. You see, you are able to get the core essence of L0. You got it. That's what it is, right? Now you explain something to a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old kid, right? He will be able to understand, right? Only when you present an information in a chunked format, they will be able to digest that information. That's the essence. And your brain will start observing a lot more things, right? As you see different L0s, right? You will be able to connect the dots and you will be able to do the course correction. Beautiful start. Within few seconds, within few minutes, you were able to do it. See, that's the beauty. Bang on. Is there anyone who has got different variations?
Participants can unmute yourself and you can share.
Because that will give an insight for someone else. They start connecting the dots and. The more you go detail into it, that becomes the expertise level that we are not looking at it right now, but upfront, what you can classify, how we can segregate. Okay, might be at one another level. Most of you will be doing what Professor Abhijit have done, right? That's how people normally categorize. Might be at another level, as a thought process, internal as well as external. You can create 2 verticals like this: internal organs and external organs. And what are the internal organs? All such things you can capture it over there: heart, liver, kidney, all such stuff. And what are the external organs? That you can capture it as a 2 verticals. That's another way. Right? The more you do it, right, and then you cross-verify with your participants, meaning your students or with the patients, right, what they are able to resonate with, and that particular model you can choose to be. Hope you're getting this idea.
Yes, sir.
Right. But now, let me reiterate on this L0 concept. What this L0 is all about? It's all about getting the big picture, right? I need to have a comprehensive view. Now, what you made an attempt is, okay, before I proceed, is there anyone who wants to share? The participants who made an attempt, I just want to hear from them, otherwise I will proceed. Is there any doubts that you had when you start doing this, or shall I move ahead? At least you need to say yes or no for this. Okay, so L0 is going to give you a comprehensive view, a big picture view, right? So that whenever I refer it back, I get a complete understanding of this topic in discussion. So now here in this case, the human body. So as an attempt, you've created different variants, different version to it. You can always try it with your students as well, so that you get a different crazy ideas. I'm going to show you the L0 of the human body, right? This will give you a comprehensive view how the human system has been structured. Basically, it is like storytelling, right? You narrate things in a encapsulated way, right? That's the place where the human mind will be able to absorb things and will be able to connect the dots. And as I told, it will also start expanding to it. So you all know there are different systems are there in our body, right? One is a digestive system, there is an endocrine system, nervous system, respiratory system. So I capture those things, right? Because there are each system are existing or functioning in its own way. It has got its own functionality. So based on the functionality we have captured, we have segregated, and whatever the things that are common across might be the professor told, right? The skin is running common across, the bones are running common across, the blood is running common across, all such things. You have to capture it. You have to ask a question. What are the elements? What are the things that are running common across on this particular topic of discussion? Then you will be able to start seeing, different disjointed information will be coming up. And of course, when such activity is being done in a group, that's the place where a lot of creative inputs will be popping up, and you can accordingly you can place it. See, now when you look at this picture, this diagram, it gives a complete overview about the system. Even if you don't understand a particular aspect, you will always know how come I have not able to see this particular thing, and you will begin to explore it, right? So it gives a comprehensive. But when you go to an L1 level, what happens? You go furthermore detailed aspect of each and every chiclet over here. Hope you are getting this idea. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So from here, I'm going to show another video. Listen.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself. It is muted, I think. Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Sir, sound is not coming, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have to unmute yourself. You can share it. Sir, you may reshare, or otherwise I have the video you have mailed me. I can also share from our side. You have to unmute, sir. Your mic is muted.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Okay.
You may share with system audio, include computers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft Team has got this little bit of glitch. Okay.
Yes.
So we used to do it in what is that? Google Meet and all, where we won't face this issue, but that's okay.
Yes, sir.
You have to let me know when the sound is coming up, when the audio is coming up. Is it coming?
No, sir.
Audio is not coming. I switched the.
I think Obhijit, you can share from your end.
I have got mail. Let me just.
Okay, one last time, let me do it, right? And if not, then you'll start sharing it. Is the audio coming up?
No, sir, still not.
Professor, it is not coming up?
No.
Sir, I have received your mail. You have given the link of these videos. I have the video. If you allow me, then I can also share from my end.
Okay. I stop. Okay, now there's a challenge over here. Okay. You can start playing the video from your end.
Right, sir.
Of cells, tissues, and organs that together make life possible. 10 major systems are responsible for the body's functions: skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, nervous, endocrine, lymphatic, respiratory, digestive, urinary, reproductive. The skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, and nervous systems in particular create an infrastructure that facilitates the other systems. The adult skeletal system is a framework of over 200 bones. They hold the body together, give it shape, and protect its organs and tissues.
Professor, the video is not coming up.
Also provides anchor points for the
Okay, it's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming.
Muscular system, which includes 3 types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. They are found throughout the body and facilitate movement. Nestled within these muscles is the cardiovascular system, a pipeline that includes the heart, blood vessels, and the blood itself. Also called the circulatory system, the cardiovascular system delivers oxygen, white blood cells, hormones, and nutrients throughout the body. Lastly, the nervous system is a communication network of nerve cells that the body uses to transmit information and coordinate bodily functions. It's comprised of the brain, the hub of sensory and intellectual activity, the spinal cord, and the many cranial and spinal nerves that emanate from them. This infrastructure, created by neurons, blood, muscles, and bones, allows 3 other systems to regulate the body's environment: the endocrine, lymphatic, and urinary systems. The endocrine system is a series of glands that use information carried by the nervous system to help regulate the body's processes. Thanks to this neural connection, endocrine glands, such as the thyroid, are aware of the amount of hormones and other chemicals they need to produce. These chemicals are then distributed throughout the body by way of the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular and nervous systems are also utilized by the lymphatic system, a collection of lymph nodes and vessels that help regulate the body's defenses. Also called the immune system, the lymphatic system uses neural pathways to transmit information about affected areas of the body and then sends out healing agents like white blood cells via the bloodstream. Another key regulatory system is the urinary system, which includes the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The urinary or renal system maintains the body's electrolyte levels and filters waste from the blood. This waste is sent through the blood vessels into the kidneys and then expelled as urine. All of these systems require energy to function, and that's where the respiratory and digestive systems come in. The respiratory system is a group of passageways and organs that extracts life-giving oxygen from the air we breathe. Air enters the body through nasal cavities, travels down the throat, and is then transported to the lungs. The lungs extract oxygen for the body to use and then expel a carbon dioxide byproduct when we exhale. Energy can also come in the form of food. The digestive system is an approximately 30-foot series of organs that convert food into fuel. Food enters the system through the mouth, then moves into the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines. Nutrients are absorbed into the body while solid waste is expelled through the anal canal, the end of the digestive tract. No matter the role, size, or shape of any of the body's systems, each began with the reproductive system. This system is responsible for creating life. The primary organs involved differ between the sexes, with ovaries, fallopian tubes, the uterus, and vagina found in women, and testes and a sperm channel found in men. Together, fertilization may occur, organ systems form, and then a child is born. Humans are complicated organisms, but when our 10 major organ systems are healthy, they ensure our well-being.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you, Professor. You saw this 5-minute video which had a lot of information about the human body. Can you recollect all the information? Here and there you can recollect, but when you capture that knowledge packets in the L0 format, right, it becomes easy to recollect all the information. It becomes easy to assimilate that information. You can connect and identify the gaps. That's the advantage you have it with L0, which will allow you to go deeper into the subject. When you watch the video, your mind would have told, let me watch this video one more time. Even if you watched it, right, you will be left with the feeling that I need to watch it one more time. Though you would have scrabbled the notes all over. But what you do it in the way of L0. It makes you to become more organized and easy to remember the knowledge packets as well. Just one glance. You get the overall view. That's the advantage you have it with this L0. Hope you're all able to appreciate the power of L0. L0 could be applied whether you want to understand something holistic, right? Whenever you want to understand something holistic. As I told you before, even this 5D, 5-day FTP thing, you can capture in an L0 format so that anyone who looks at this L0 will get a comprehensive view of what has been discussed in this 5-day program. Okay, let me share my screen again. Professor, is my screen?
Yes, yes. It is visible.
Okay. Right, thank you. Again, guys, what do you observe in this picture? What this picture conveys to you? What message it conveys?
It's safe from Corona.
Yeah, okay. And what's the product being used?
Sanitizer.
Hand hygiene, sir.
Okay.
Sanitizer.
Isopropyl alcohol.
Yes, okay. So especially in the pandemic period, everyone knows about it. But what is the scope of this product prior to pandemic?
Sir, it is mainly, sterilizing your hand or removing the germs from your hand.
Correct. Yes. It is more used in hospitals to prevent infection and all, right? But apart from hospitals, is there any other place where we use sanitizers?
Sir, in this Corona pandemic, we are using this.
No Corona time, pre-pandemic period. We are going
Okay.
pre-pandemic. So that's the catch.
Hotels, sir. Hotels.
Pardon?
Hotel industry. Hospitality.
Hospital
Hotels.
industry, yes.
Sir, industry also, in a pharma industry, every day when we used to enter in our section, before that we have to sanitize our hands, we have to change our clothes. So in pharma industry, every day, this is every morning, this is our job to do. This.
Of course, apart from hospital and pharma industry, right? So it is used as a substitute to clean the hands when it gets dirty, where you can't find water, right? So this was a handy mechanism, right? In fact, it was considered to be a great tool for people who can't find water instantly, right? So someone has studied the needs of such users and came with that sort of variant of sanitizers. As a result, a new market has been created apart from your hospital and pharma industry, right? And people all over the world started using it. No need to tell about the current pandemic situation, right? When there is a need for your product or a service, it will be selling like a hotcake. Then what is our job? We need to find out the needs of our users. The moment you find out the needs, and then accordingly, when you create a product or a service, it's going to be a hit in the market. And classic example is the sanitizer. Okay. This is another classic example of understanding the user needs, right? By the way, is anyone knows the story of this chick shampoo? Anyone heard about?
No, sir.
No. Okay, fine. They are the one who came up with ₹1 shampoo sachet first in the market 25-30 years back, right? After which different FMCG companies came with their own sachet packet. The concept of sachet itself brought by this particular group, of course, Kevin Care group, right? The idea of creating ₹1 sachet packet came when the owner of this company had a dialogue with an auto driver by asking to the driver, hey, your hair looks rough. Why can't you use a shampoo? The auto driver replied, saying that, sir, it is quite costly to buy one full bottle of shampoo. That's why I'm not using it. This gave a light bulb moment to the founder of CHIP, right? Mr. C.K. Ranganathan. he understood the needs of the end user and accordingly came up with a product, and it was a super duper hit. Basically, by understanding the needs of the end user, you will have a larger and wider user base. Kevin Care has become one of the leading FMCG product companies in India. By the way, the chairman, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, along with the senior leadership team, undergone a design thinking program with us, with School of Design Thinking. Okay, so here comes the another example. So can anyone say what is the tagline of this shop, Cafe Coffee Day? Anyone knows about it? There is a tagline for this particular coffee shop. Is there anyone aware of it? Don't find it from the Google. If you don't know, you don't know. Okay, so the tagline goes like this: a lot can happen over coffee. This is the tagline of this, the Cafe Coffee Day. And especially it's quite popular in the corporate segment as well, right? So a lot of interviews have taken place in this particular place, and a lot of offers being done. Remember this particular coffee shop, what they sell, obviously it's only coffee. Now I can get a coffee at my place with 10 rupees, right now. But 15-20 years back, they were selling coffee for 100 rupees, more than 100 rupees, 150 rupees. For selling a coffee, that too 15 years back. How come, yeah? Which means these guys have understood the needs of the user, really understood the needs of the user. Accordingly, they have created the space for it, and for which they have charged a premium rate, like a 5-star hotel. They are not even a star hotel. They're just a shop, only a coffee shop, right? But what they did is they created the atmosphere, they've created the space for people to dialogue, right? They provided an ample amount of time for them to discuss. The ambience is so conducive. And it has happened based on what? They've understood the user base, their customers require a space like this. See, right now we have got malls and all have come up, right? These are the days where, when Cafe Coffee Day came in, we don't have much of a mall at that point of time. There is no place for a hangout, and they have created the space. And as a result, what has happened? It has become like an industry. It's just a shop, a coffee shop, but whatever a hospital can make as a profit, a coffee shop can make it. The turnover was in crores of rupees. Again, what's the point? If you understand the user needs, you will create an altogether different market segment. Just by selling a coffee, they have created a market for itself, right? Which means there is always an opportunity for us to find out what are the needs of my user, what are the needs of my patient. If you're able to question it, and if you're able to flip it, not in the normal way, but altogether in a 360-degree way, like this Cafe Coffee Day did, giving a space for people to dialogue, and for that, people are willing to spend X amount of rupees. They have created a business model out of it, right? Business viability has to be there, and they were quite successful in that aspect as well. If that be the case, you have to ask this question: what are the user needs of my patient? And you have to start the journey. Right? It is not that by asking a question you find an answer immediately. No, but that question, what it does is it will set you onto a particular journey. And of course, that's what this Atal FTP is all about. You will always acquire a different set of knowledge packets. But when you capture it like the L0 way, right, with empathy being the base, you will start generating a lot of insight. Then it is up to us to take the necessary action. Hope you are getting the holistic view of understanding the needs of our users. Yeah. So having said this, this is the space where, as a School of Design Thinking, we have it. We have dedicated for, Hello, is there any question being asked? Okay. So this is a space dedicated for design thinking where we invite people to come and experience this particular place, which we call it as a 8012 FinTech Design Center. In fact, this design center is unique in its aspect. It is not India's first, it is the world's first design center. So people all over the world visit this place. This is at Navulu, Chennai, and we invite universities, colleges to come over here and to experience and to get that sort of triggerings in your mind. See the glass doors that you're seeing over here, all these glass doors are writable. So we encourage people to come, we give different colored markers to people, people come and write on the glass doors over here. See, normally who will write on the walls? Kids will be writing on the walls, right? We want to develop that sort of an attitude in the minds of the learners. As and when a thought pops up in your mind, we ask people, we encourage people to go and write it. That's the place where creative thoughts gets flourished. And the tables that you're seeing over there, all these tables could be juggled, rearranged in a multiple format, might be in a rectangular way or in a square way or in a circular way, right? In a different format, you can juggle it up, the whole setup. Ram was talking about the space, right? The design space, which influences the design mind as well, right? The moment you have such sort of a space at your area, right? It could be even a very, very small space, but by looking at that space, it will trigger a lot of creative thoughts in an individual. So I extend this hearty welcome to all the participants of this program, right? If you happen to visit Chennai, right, so of course you should have intimated well ahead. So you can visit the design center, which is first of its kind in the world, and where you will experience something different only when you experience that space. Of course, this design center right now, we are coming up in different places, different parts of the world. A small version is there in Mumbai, and one is there in London, and another one is coming up at US. But this is the headquarters. Chennai is the headquarters where you go have a different aspects of design thinking elements have been consciously embedded. And we have got a 7th floor building, and each floor has got is totally different from every other floor. And only when you step in and experience, you get that feel of it. And by the way, we do a different set of programs. Basically, what we are trying to do is we are evangelizing this design thinking concept to different sections of the society. Normally, design thinking has been considered only for the IT segment. IT people are extensively using design thinking. The reason is most of the Silicon Valley companies in US, starting from Apple, Microsoft, Google, right, you name it, they started adopting, embracing design thinking, and they were able to see a lot of changes, and they were able to create a lot of impact in the society as well. But design thinking is not a prerogative of one particular industry. It could be applied to varied segments, and that's how and that's what we are doing it. We are partnering with the government. We are partnering with some of the universities. From Delhi, we are partnered with the North Cap University. The professors, we have trained them, and in Chennai, Anna University, SRM University, different universities we are partnered with, and we are training their professors as well. So basically, we are trying to inculcate this design thinking approach in their day-to-day life. It's not only at applied at one particular segment, but it could be holistically applied in a 360-degree approach. That's what we are doing it. So I've come to the fag end of the session. So any questions you can ask me.
Thank you so much, sir, for a great lecture where you have covered almost all the various aspects of design thinking. You have started with lots of stories, and there are lots of that is a task for us, where you have given a lots of tasks we are supposed to solve. Then you have mentioned about the empathy map. Then we have told about the classification of observation, and you have given a big picture where also you have covered our home, IRCTC on all these details. Then you have told the L0 architecture with you have covered human body, CCD story, and other things. And after that, you also have told about your that is a FinTech Design Center, that is 8012. And at the end, sir, you have mentioned School of Design Thinking's all the various programs and things they are doing. So it's a very great time to learn from you and deep insights of design thinking, how we can understand a think, and then we may apply these concepts So we are so deeply thankful to you, sir. Is there any questions from our participants they may
Yes,
ask?
sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir, if you don't mind, I want to know what is written on the wall behind you. Two quotations are written behind in the wall.
Oh, okay. So one quotation says, "Life is a ticket to the greatest show on earth." Life is a ticket that you got it
Okay.
to the greatest show on earth. That's the one thing, right? So you've got a brief amount of time, so you have to literally leverage, you have to enjoy the show. And the first quote goes like this: "Life is not the amount of breaths you take.
Okay.
It is the moments that take your breath away. That is life." So,
Thank you, sir. Another question is,
yes, sir.
can you give me one successful example of output of design thinking from Indian perspective? Any Indian corporate who got bigger output, because we got example of GE, Google, Apple.
Yeah.
Can we have the example from Indian Indian Inc., please?
Okay. So you can remember this particular company called Intellect. Heard about Intellect? Intellect as a company, IT company?
Okay.
No, I'm just asking this question. Intellect as a company, have you heard about it?
Which one, sir? Intellect.
Intellect, not Intellect. Intellect.
Okay.
Intellect
Okay.
as a company. Have you heard about it?
Is it in Indore, sir?
No,
Is it
pardon?
Indore-based company?
No, I couldn't get you.
Sir, is it in Indore? I didn't understand.
Intellect, Intellect.
Okay. No, I didn't hear the name of this company earlier.
Okay, fine. So have you heard about Infosys TCS?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are a product-oriented company, right? Intellect is a product-oriented company, and I'm from there only. Okay. So it's a pretty newer company with 7 years as the experience. But within that 7 years period of time, what we were able to achieve was we were able to get the clients across the world, right? Of course, what we Intellect do is we create softwares for banks, but consciously we have applied design thinking in the way we approach. So as a result, it's very tough. We can claim X amount of things, but only our customers have to define who we are.
Yes,
so we basically write software for the banks, but the way we have influenced the banks, it has got to the level where it went to the bank of all banks, especially in India, which is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. They came to know us, and then they started using the software that we created, which means what? RBI is being powered by Intellect. Okay. Intellect is a pretty new company with which you cannot run a country's financial system. The backbone of India's financial system cannot be run by a new company. In a sense, if you make a mistake, it's going to create a rippling effect. But RBI started believing us because of the way we approach our aspects. It is not only RBI, some of the other countries' central banks, right? Central Bank of Lesotho, Central Bank of Ethiopia, Central Bank of Indonesia, Central Bank of Armenia. Some of the 10 central banks across the world, we are supporting it, not banks, central banks.
Okay, okay.
Within 7 years, we were able to do this massive record. The answer, or we attribute our credit to design thinking, right? And that's a place where we were able to win the hearts of the governments and as well as the central banks. And we are doing a massive projects across the world as well. So this is the classic example that you can remember of, right?
You are assisting, you are empowering the federal banks. I mean, not the individual. Your state banks are being yes, sir.
Recently, we have partnered with State Bank of India, HDFC, of course, LIC as well. The list is growing up.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, sir. It is also a very, that is what I can say. We are so happy to hear that you are helping our country, also the lots of banks, that is national banks in such a great, that is a space. So Dr. Monica ma'am is asking that what tool we can apply to inculcate patient-centric in pharma research? Is there any tool or anything that we can use in terms of patient-centric?
Yeah, that's what. So the first thing that we talked about is, see, design thinking is all about what? It's a human-centric in nature. And what does that human-centric means? You're trying to look from the end user's perspective. That's what that empathy is all about, what Mr. Ramakrishnan was talking about. So now when you say empathy, you have to go and dialogue, interact, interview with the end user. That's the first and foremost thing in any type of design thinking approach. You have to do that. That's a place where you get that insights, that you have to collate it, you have to capture it, and you have to present it to the different stakeholders who are going to create this patient-centric approach. So first you have to do this dialoguing with your patients, different set of stakeholders, collate that sort of knowledge packets, and then you create the big picture so that people will be able to connect the dots. That's the place where you start generating insight. It will be there in your mind, but that will not be the same thing with your patient. And each patient is a different, right? Each user is a different. And only when you get that sort of data, and when you organize it and have a dialogue with your team members and with different stakeholders, you will be generating insights. And that's where these two tools, purposely you have taken this L0 tool and this empathy tool, which is bound to generate a lot of insight. And there is one another tool which we call as a journey map, which is, after you generated insights, you can capture those insights by plotting a map called journey map, where you see how the emotional aspect of your patient is having it when he encounters each and every touch point of your hospital or your clinic or the healthcare center that he visits, that he or she visits, right? Might be the first time that he enters the reception area, how people are interacting with him. That will determine the fluctuation in his emotional wavelength, right? If the people speak, suppose if the guy who comes over there, he doesn't know any other language other than Hindi, right? If the person at the counter speaks in English, his emotional fluctuation will take place in a different format. Suppose the person who's there, he speaks in his local language or the language that he knows, suddenly the bond gets created. But it's a hi-fi hospital, right? You can't have such sort of a flavor. You want to create that sort of an image or that sort of a brand. That's a place where you can create something called a buddy system, right? I hope there is one particular app that has recently came up, which is called a Pristine Care. You can search in the net, you will find it out, especially in the hospital industry. What they're declaring it is, see, you don't have to, if you want to do any surgery to your system, right, to your grandpa or to your grandma or even to yourself, forget about all the complication that has been associated with the hospital industry. You just come to us, Pristine Care, right? What we do is we will take care of end-to-end, operational issues. Might be filling up the form or going to insurance agency or going to meet the respective doctors. All such things we will do it. So that sort of a projection has come up from a startup industry. And how? Because they have understood the patient mentality. And as a result, a new startup has come up. It is evolved because of the understanding the needs of the end user. So when you start consciously using your empathy map and L0 tool, right, you will start generating insights, and then you can apply your journey map to enhance the experience of the end user or your patient.
Great, sir. Sir, actually, I have a question. Sir,
Yes.
the concept design thinking, when it was first introduced, is it starting from the beginning, or it was popularized in 21st century, or what is the history basically?
See, it is intuitively applied across different sections of the world. Even India, way back we started using it, but we are not good in communicating in that particular terminology, that taxonomy. We have not used it. But intuitively we used it. But the so-called the Western counterparts, they are good in packaging things. They put it in a nice wordings, right? That's how the Stanford University, packaged this design thinking and popularized it. Of course, the Ideas and organization, it's a design firm. They are the one who applied different aspects of design thinking, came out with a different innovative products. Let me give one example. You know about Apple, right? Apple is quite popular. They have a premium for whatever the product they bring in. It has got a premium value. The first mouse of an Apple is not designed by Apple. It's been designed by IDEO, the design firm called IDEO, IDEO, right?
Okay.
So now you know where that IDEO is coming from, right? So when they come up with something, the world looks at it and it's going to be a phenomenal hit. And they are the one who popularized design thinking, and they have set up a D school in Stanford University, and that's how this design thinking flourished like anything. And they've got their own aspect. And in fact, our chairman visited that particular place, got inspired by it, and he took that concept as it is, and we applied in our company, and we terribly failed. And our chairman had a big question: how come here we literally followed their process and it has to be successful? Why it has been failed? Then he has understood this part of the country, we have got a different mindset in approaching things. The Western counterparts has got there a different mindset, right? The process is okay, but before you step into process, the mind has to be prepared, right? That's what Ramakrishnan was also talking about. Design the thinking. Your thinking process has to be set first. Once the soil is ready, right, it becomes ready. You have to prepare the soil. Then you put the seeds over there, it will sprout. But if the soil is not ready, right, you put the quality seeds, still it will not sprout, right? So it all depends upon the soil. So the human mind is like a fertile soil, but it has to be prepared enough. Then it is ready to grow like anything. And it is inherent in all of us. But what this design thinking done is, it has made captured different taxonomies, different jargons, and put it in a proper way, in a structured way, so that people can relate to it, and then they can be able to extend and implement it in a much more easier format. People can connect doing things. Otherwise, it will be there in my head, but how can I articulate to the other person, right? It gives me a structured platform. One such example is your L0, right? The moment you see that L0, you see different things at one place, and it becomes easy for you to articulate and communicate to others.
Right, sir. If you have any other question, please ask dear participants. I have allowed everyone to unmute yourself. Okay, I think, sir, all of them are hungry this time. So our convener of this FDP, Dr. Monica, is here. Ma'am, would you like to interact with our speaker? Yes, ma'am.
So, hello, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of this AICT sponsored Atal FDP. So your session was really impressive, and the video you shared in the starting, that created a lot of empathy for the patients, to us, and hope so that empathy must go to our participants too, and the pharma industry people who are working in this field. So that was my aim with which I have designed. I worked on this program, that such kind of empathy we must have, and whatever research we are going to do, that must be based on that patient centricity. So pharma industry works a lot, can do a lot if they have the knowledge of this kind of a design thinking too. So the thing you shared, like empathy map and journey map, will really help a lot to our participants. That first they need to have empathy for the patients, and when they will be having such kind of an empathy, then definitely they will try to understand about the journey, what patients are going through, and after knowing about their journey, then they will definitely like to research. And that is my request to my students also, that they must do whatever research projects they are doing. They must first create the empathy for your customers. Customers are just the patients, and they are not just patients, they are the persons, human beings first. So that what was my motive for this FDP, and you really explained the things, how we can relate these tool design thinking with our patient centricity. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot to both the speakers from School of Design Thinking. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. And ma'am, if I am not wrong, I think we shall take one break, and we may meet in 2:30 for our third lecture. Professor Dr. Harish Dureja will be with us, and she will deliver our third lecture on 2:30. In healthcare. So thank you all of you. Please join with us with the same link. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. We may assemble here at 2:30 for our next lecture.